Thanks for checking out Scotty's Hobbies. Today we're looking at this 2017 Ram 1500 with the 5.7 liter engine in it. This should be the same, if not very similar, to most 4th gen Rams with the 5.7 liter and the extended cab. Here's your underhood label. This label lets you know some important information about your vehicle, such as if your vehicle is a California or federal certified emissions vehicle, the year, the engine family, and what components are on your vehicle. First off, right here under the engine cover, you should take your air cleaner off to be able to do this, but you can see your PCV valve is coming up right here. Your positive crankcase ventilation valve, also known as your PCV. This valve allows blow-by and condensation built up in the crankcase to flow through the intake and combustion process and through the exhaust and catalytic converter. A faulty PCV valve could cause a code such as P0171 to come up in the computer, which is a lean code. Here is your PCV valve. For being such an easy and expensive part to replace, the PCV valve is very often overlooked as a regular maintenance procedure and is really important. If you do need one, make sure you look for a link in the description below to purchase one. And if you need to know how or figure out what you need to do to replace it, make sure you check out my video library. I do have a DIY video on that one. Here on the passenger side, you're going to find your canister Purge solenoid. Is a solenoid used by the computer to allow emissions vapors to flow into the intake manifold and flow through the combustion process to be burnt out the tailpipe through the catalytic converter. Your Purge solenoid can cause codes such as P0496 and P0441, P0443, and P0445. If any of these codes were to come on, I would start thinking this Purge solenoid is at fault, or the wiring that controls it could be at fault as well. This is your canister Purge solenoid. Vapor Purge solenoids often cause many different codes when they are going bad. They get stuck in closed positions, the open position, and sometimes the wiring harness itself or the pigtail cracks on the backside. Moving to under the vehicle, your driver's side oxygen sensors are going to be your bank 1 sensors. They're really easy to find. If you do need a socket to replace these sensors, make sure you look for a link in the description below to purchase as well. Let's get started with. Here is your bank 1, sensor 1 oxygen sensor, or possibly air fuel ratio sensor. Look for a link in the description below to purchase if you need one. Sorry I couldn't get you the best view, but when you get under here and look up, it'll be one heck of a lot easier knowing where to look. Here is the location of your bank 1, sensor 2, oxygen sensor, or air fuel ratio sensor. If you need one, make sure you look for a link in the description below to purchase. Post-catalytic converter oxygen sensors, or lambda sensors, are on your vehicle to measure the air-to-fuel ratio coming out of your catalytic converter. These want to see a wavelength that is stuck in one position, not switching from rich to lean. If it sees a rich to lean switch in your exhaust stream, the computer will think your catalytic converter is faulty. If you have a P0420 or P0421 or P0422, those codes let you know that catalytic converter is not performing at its optimum level. Those codes could be from a poor catalytic converter or from this oxygen sensor being at fault. If you have a heater circuit malfunction with this oxygen sensor or lambda sensor, I would suspect the sensor itself is bad and replace that at this time. This is your post-catalytic converter oxygen sensor or lambda sensors. When replacing these oxygen sensors, make sure to get OE direct fit replacement oxygen sensors. Makes it much easier than having to splice and reconnect the wires. Moving on to the passenger side, these are going to be your bank 2 sensors. we're going to be starting with the
Bank 2 sensor 1 oxygen sensor or air fuel ratio sensor. If you need one, make sure you look for a link in the description below to purchase.
Pre-catalytic converter oxygen sensors or lambda sensors measure the amount of air to fuel ratio in the exhaust stream coming from the combustion process through the exhaust stream. With this reading, the computer knows how much fuel to give or take away from the engine to create the perfect combustion air to fuel ratio. A bad oxygen sensor can cause poor fuel economy, and also if you have a heater circuit malfunction code such as a P0135 or P0141, I would start thinking or suspect your oxygen or lambda sensor to be at fault. If you have a lean or rich code, I would at that time start my diagnosis to find a leak in the vacuum system or the exhaust system that the computer cannot fix by giving or taking away fuel from the combustion process. These are your pre-catalytic converter oxygen sensors. Following the exhaust stream down or towards the rear of the vehicle is another sensor.
Here is the location of Bank 2 sensor 2 oxygen sensor or air fuel ratio sensor. Link in the description to purchase one as well if needed.
These don't look too hard to replace. Now looking next to the fuel tank down here, you're going to find another important EVAP component. This is going to be the vapor canister. This location may vary depending on if you have the two-wheel or four-wheel drive version of the vehicle. Make sure you look for my other videos for that model as well. But here we go with the
fuel vapor canister, or also called your charcoal canister. It is an emissions control device that traps vapors from the EVAP system and sends them to the fuel tank for later use, if it's working properly. They very rarely go bad. This is your fuel vapor canister.
The vapor canister rarely ever goes bad, and you should be able to find your vent valve up here somewhere as well. Not sure why I didn't get it in this video. Make sure you look at my other videos to find more Dodge Rams or Ram vehicles dating back to the early 90 vehicles, I believe. Like, subscribe, and share. I'll see you in the next hopefully helpful video. Maybe one of these two videos right here will help you out in further diagnosis or repairs. Make sure to comment below with questions and like so we can get to that 100,000 subs. I'll see you in the next hopefully helpful video. Thanks for watching.